guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela, and I've been doing a lot of videos lately, and I just finally figured out this one I've been wanting to do for a while. It's a tag I wanted to start, called My Staple Decks, and these are decks, and I narrowed it down to 10, but you can put up whatever amount of decks you want in there. You can do Oracle, Tarot, whatever. I just did Tarot. I may do another video at some point where it's just Oracle. But I narrowed it down to 10 staple decks, 10 decks that I feel either everybody has the deck or has had the deck at one point. Yeah, and 2 of them I don't have that I would like to add to this tag at some point. The Wildwood Tarot and the Druidcraft Tarot. I feel like those 2 are major staple decks that everybody has, except me. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and do my top 10, or the tag will be hashtag my staple decks, but these will be my top 10, and of course, this is just my opinion, that either everybody has these decks or has had the deck and they've gotten rid of it, but for one various reason or another. And there's 10 decks here. One of them is not mass market. Everything else is mass market. You can still buy to this day on Amazon or whatever. But the first one I'm going to show you is the non-mass market, and that is published by Uzi. It is, no surprise, the Pagan Otherworlds. Everybody either has this deck or has had this deck at some point. It is the most expensive we're going to show today. These are the backs. It is a rather slippery deck, and it's got some phases of the moons here. It is one of those decks, it's stunning. It's got a linen cardstock. It is a pip deck. However, it has images down here to help you navigate the pips. I feel like this is also a deck that, look at that, like I've either heard that it was in a museum or is in a museum. If it's not, it should be in a museum. That's the kind of quality on this artwork that there is. I feel like this is something I've seen in a museum, or should be seeing hanging on the wall in a museum. So for great artwork, because it's that beautiful. It is like I said, it is published by Uzi. It is the deck in this group, the one deck I have in this group that's not a mass market deck, that you could easily attain, and cheap. This one's not. It's middle of the road cheap. Let's go there, because I've got more expensive decks than this one, but this one is not. If you're willing to spend an extra little bit of cash, this is a deck to do. And I think everybody, like I said, either has this deck or has had this deck at some point. It is just one of those decks that everybody's got. Everybody's seen. Everybody's familiar with the images, even if they don't have it. They know, as soon as you see that bag, what deck this is. So that is the Pagan Otherworlds. And that is a gorgeous, gorgeous deck. Oh, totally missed the box. And the tuck box is great quality, too. And I didn't mess up my stamp, so I opened from the bottom. But yeah, every time everybody shows this deck, as soon as they show the bag, everybody knows exactly what they're about to pull out. That's how familiar this deck is to everybody. And that's why it's on this list. So, for number 2, we're going to go with my baby, Light Sears Tarot. Everybody's got this deck. Either everybody's got this deck, or everybody's seen this deck, or everybody has had this deck. Everybody sees, they know, it's been edged in this teal. It's published by Hay House. It was a Kickstarter, and then it went mass market. It's by Chris Ann. This deck is my soul deck. It's the deck that, if I couldn't have any other deck, this would be the one deck I would want. And it's just that stunning. It's very familiar. Everybody's seen this deck again. Everybody has it. I've yet to run into anybody that doesn't like this deck. Because it's one of those, it's bright, beautiful, it's sweet, it's calm, it's nice. And it reads fantastic. So it's an all-around beautiful, cheap deck that everybody's going to get because it's so pretty. But that is deck 2. The Light Sears Tarot. And again, everybody has this deck. Okay. So, deck 3. I hemmed and hawed about this one, but because this just came out in 2021. But everybody seems to have this deck. Tarot Mystical Moments by Katherine Welch Stein. It is published by U.S. Games. Comes with a nice box, a nice book. It's silver gilded. And everybody seems to have this lately. Like everybody. Even people that didn't think they would like this deck have this deck. And I was one of those. I was like, I'm not getting that deck. I'm not even remotely into it. And then it was like the deck was nagging me, like, get it, get it, get it. And then when I got it, it was like, whoa. It's an amazing reader. It reads fantastic. And it wasn't that hard to pick up. Like, it's like $20 on Amazon. It was super cheap. For the quality, it's amazing. The price is amazing. And it looks weird and strange, which is one of the reasons I love it. But it's also a very easy, fast reader. And so, yeah, even a newbie could pick this up and just start inferring from what's going on, the questions and stuff. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful deck. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful deck. And it's glossy, so if you don't like glossy, it may not be the deck for you. But, again, it's in this because I don't think that people care if it's glossy. Because everybody I've seen lately has this deck. So it would be like one of the newer ones to this tag. Yeah. So that's deck 3. Is that deck 3? So next we have Crystal Visions Tarot. I think a lot of people get this like I did, just so I could trim it and do the edges. That's mainly the reason why I got it, because I'm like, oh, it's so cute. It's so pocket size when you trim it, and it's got these cute, like, I got this marker. It was a bubble gum, but it came out like a purpley. It came out perfect, actually, for the color. But then I got it, and I'm like, oh, wow. Like, it reads fantastic. It's so cute. So sweet. It's cheap. Like, super cheap on Amazon. I think it was like $17. Super cheap. But it's so easy to read also. It's like all of these so far that I've shown you, except for the Tarot Mystical Moments, has been like a Rider-Waite inspired deck, and so is this one. It's like Rider-Waite inspired, but the coloring in it is just stunning. And I've seen so many people with this deck, whether they use it all the time or not, that's another story. But again, it's one of those decks that everybody has or they know about. And it's stunning. Such a beautiful, beautiful deck. And the colors in it are just fantastic. Amazing coloring. And it is an older deck, but I don't care. It's gorgeous. And the edging, the trimming and the edging and the corner rounding I did came out so great. I'm so proud of myself for this deck. But that is the Crystal Visions Tarot by Jennifer Galazzo. It is a U.S. Games inspired, or U.S. Games publication. And I keep a little rose quartz in this little bag with it. Keep it with this little pouch that I found. It's amazing. So that was deck 4. So deck 5, the Zombie Tarot. I have yet to see anybody that doesn't have this deck. Or I don't know. It was like 14 bucks on Amazon for the velvety box, sturdy box that you get, the little book that you get, the quality of the cards that you get. Well, I thought it would be way more than it was, but it's not. It's well worth it. This deck is gorgeous. Gorgeous. It reads amazing. Just brilliantly. And you would think it's some kitschy little fun deck for Halloween. I have read it for Halloween, not this past year, but the year before. And it reads fantastic. Like, everybody, every time I pull this deck out, people start giggling, and then they're like, oh, wow, wait. Like, when I start reading with it. It's that fantastic. And it's so amazing that it was only 14 bucks on Amazon. So, yeah. So, and this is another one that I've never seen anybody that doesn't have this deck or know what it is. But that is the Zombie Tarot. Cardstock quality is fantastic. Don't know who published it. It doesn't tell you really on the box. But it's amazing. Amazing. Alright, we're down to 4. That was 6 decks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I feel like I'm missing one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've done 5 decks. Why do I only have 4 sitting here? No, I got 5 more. Okay. So that was 5. Sorry. So, next on the list, DB Montero. And I've actually got the borderless on its way to me right now. This is the bordered edition. I decided to go ahead and pull the plug and get the borderless. Because I'm afraid this is like a first edition of this deck, and I didn't want to trim it if it is. But I can't see in the borders, and I think that's part of why I don't connect with this deck as much as I should. But I got this super cheap from a friend of mine. Paid 10 bucks for it, and the cards are it's like brand new. It's just, I love Weird and Strange, but this seems to be a little bit too on the Weird and Strange for me. However, I do have several of Patrick Valence's decks that are not mass market. This is like one of the few of his that are mass market. And it's a U.S. Games publication. And I feel like if I get the borderless, I will connect with it more. But the colors are vibrant and beautiful, and I love the coloring of it. I love the cardstock quality. It's amazing. I can't deal with the borders, I think. And some of the cards are a little out there, but that just means that I need to, like that one, I just need to dig deeper into that card and find out why it's a trigger for me. So it's one of those decks, I think it's going to take work, and I'm just not prepared to do the work yet for that deck. So that is the Deviant Moon, and again, everybody's got this deck, or knows what deck this is, or who it's by. There's very little we need to talk about with the Deviant Moon, because everybody knows what it is. So that's deck 6. Deck 7, Morgan Greer Tarot. Everybody has this deck. I was late to the party. I got the 10 version because I'm like, oh, I'll get the cheaper version. Cardstock quality was a mess. The cards were used. They were stained. They were disgusting. So I wound up going ahead and purchasing the full-size version, which is what this is. And the cardstock quality way better. It's thinner than the other, but I love it. It shuffles way better. The images in this are gorgeous. Even people that are more light, fluffy decks have this deck and the Deviant Moon. So I'm like, I don't understand that, because I've seen quite a few people that just do light and fluffy decks have both of these. And I don't think either deck are light and fluffy. This one makes me think of the 80s, and when I went roller skating a lot in the 80s when I was a kid, and it just, like, that's the feeling I get from this, is like the mid-80s, like rock and roll, long hair, 80s, like skating and eating popcorn and just it's weird. That's what it makes me feel like, though. But this is a beautiful, beautiful. The coloring in it is gorgeous. The cardstock quality in the bigger size, amazing. And I connected with this version of this deck right away. But it is the Morgan Greer Tarot, published by U.S. Games. And again, everybody has this deck. So, yeah. So we're down to 3. Next is, and this is the pocket version because I don't have the bigger version, the Wild Unknown Pocket Tarot Deck and Guidebook. This just came out in 2021. I said, why not? Because I wasn't really drawn to the full-size version. And I was like, oh, it's only 12 bucks for the mini. And it's actually pretty good size for a mini. Fits in your hand. And then I got it, and I'm like, oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I can understand why everybody has this deck. There's just this energy about it that makes you love it. And it's beautiful. And honestly, the little white borders don't bother me. It's just got enough color in it that it makes it stand out. And I feel like if I got the bigger version, because these are not, they're many, but they're not too many. If that makes any sense at all. I feel like if I got the bigger version, it would be too overwhelming. The black and white versus the colors in it would be too overwhelming for me. So I actually have the perfect size deck of the Wild Unknown for me. It's beautiful. I read with it all the time. I take it with me everywhere. It's gorgeous. And I feel like everybody either has this deck or has had this deck at some point in their tarot practice. And everybody loves it, or they hate it, and they got rid of it. But everybody's had this deck at some point. I was just late to the party getting it. So, down to the last 2. And of course, we have to throw a Rider-Waite Smith in there, because a staple deck would not be complete without a Rider-Waite Smith. I'm one of those people that rarely read with a actual Rider-Waite Smith deck. And I still have 4 or 5. So, if I have several, I know other people that aren't Rider-Waite Smith enthusiast tarot deck readers also have at least 1 or 2 of these decks. And this one is the one I feel like everybody has. It is the Smith-Waite Centennial, Smith-Waite Tarot Deck Centennial Edition. I also have the borderless of this. I would use it more than this one because I like borderless. But I have, like my 2.0, I would use it over both of these. But I feel like everybody at some point has had this particular deck or the borderless version of this deck. There would be no staple collection without a Rider-Waite Smith deck in there, right? So I threw this in there because I'm like, I know somebody's got this deck. Everybody's got this deck. The coloring is beautiful. I like the antique vibe I get from this deck. But again, like, I got this just to have it. So I would have this one and the borderless. But I do have the borderless version. And again, everybody has this deck. So, yeah. I'm not going into too much detail on it. I do love the cardstock quality. Of course it is, because it's a U.S. game. Cardstock, and it's beautiful, and I love it. So that's deck 9. So we're on to the last deck, and it's the latest deck in my collection. If you watched the last couple videos I've done, you would know which deck it is. I already put it in a pouch because I don't want it in the box. And that is the Morgan, or Mariel Tarot. To me, and it's gilded silver. No collection will be complete without the Mariel Tarot. And I actually waited to get this deck to do this video. This and the Wild Unknown. I waited till I had both of those to get this, because both of those are... No staple collection is complete without these 2 decks, I don't think. It's gorgeous. I just got it yesterday. Haven't really worked with it yet. The cards I have pulled, I'm like, whoa. The book is fantastic. This is the second edition. Someday I'll have to get the first edition. If not, though, I did realize once I got it in hand, it's okay. I don't need it. But, yeah, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous deck. And again, everybody has this deck. They either have it, or they want it, or they know about it, or they used to have it and got rid of it. Everybody knows about this deck. And look at that gorgeousness. So, yeah, that is my 10 decks that are, I feel, staples in, should be staples in any collection, or is staples in every collection that's out there, if you got it. So, yeah, I encourage you guys to do this tag as well. I'm going to put it on there as hashtag my staple decks. And again, these are just my opinions on what decks that I feel like everybody either has or has had in the past. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And y'all have a good night. Bye.